Hi, now we are going to learn about plagiarism and academic integrity problems and solutions. So, what is plagiarism? The word plagiarism is derived from the Latin word plagiari, which means to kidnap or abduct. Taking words or ideas or data from other sources without citation or acknowledgement, it's a plagiarism. And mainly work of another and you are presenting as your work is also an plagiarism. And in academic research, the creator or the person who generates the ideas or the person who having the data, he should get the credit if anyone use their research work. Cheating, academic offense, theft, stealing others intellectual property. See here, you should not even recently I was able to hear some researchers, they are taking some various other country research work and they are presenting in other country as that is their own work and they are the creators of that topic. So that's many things were going on from various topic, this kind of stealing other works and various things were going on. That is not an research ethics. And some of the examples of plagiarism is a faculty or a student or a researcher copying from the internet book, thesis, lecture reports and submitting to the another source like journals, books, book chapters, thesis or various other source. That is an plagiarism. And some people they do intentionally, some people they do unintentionally. And self plagiarism, authorship, some problems will be there, and copying some words or some sentences or even image tables. When you are copying something from other sources, that is the plagiarism. Why the students and the researchers mainly plagiarize? And from my point of view, it is like not much knowledge on the reference or the citation, mainly on research. And even from the school days currently if you see, and the education system where like the people they will be copying some images like the work will be like copy, not copy, paste 10 figures, not, which means 10 birds image from the internet in the some notebooks or something. So what they'll be doing is browsing in the internet, finding some 10 birds, they copy and take a printout and they paste in their books. From the school days these are all were going on. Then in college again for assignments they copy some paragraph and something and copy and paste. So these works were going from the starting, and some time limitations problems were there. See, if a UG or a PG students they are doing their research work for 3 months or 6 months, so most of the researchers we don't give much time for writing their reports. So we give like 3 days or 1 week or 2 weeks. They don't get enough time for writing their reports or their articles, and finally what they do, copy and paste from various sources, and that creates the plagiarism's problem. And related thing, in many institute level the rules were not much available, and many researchers they were quite lazy to create ideas on their own, and they copy others ideas and they share as a own. And limited writing skills, many researchers were there but they have the limited writing skills. And from my point of view, a suggestion to the librarians of various institute, you should teach the UG as well as the PG students that how to write articles and what is plagiarism. And this is an thing to write the articles from the UG level, they should teach them, and that will be helpful for them when they complete their final year research projects. It will be easier to them to write the research articles, and that will be not helpful for their career, it will be also helpful for the institute level also. And some of the activities that leads to the plagiarism is another language article. See, some articles may be published in other language like Iranian or Persian or other languages. So if you are taking that and copying that abstract in English or various other language and you publish, or rephrasing that words on your own, or using the contacting the research consultant to write articles and other thing. See, you should write your article. Why? Because when you know to write your article, then only you can guide others or you can supervise others or in future anyway, if you are doing a research career, most probably many will be going to the few will be going to the industry and many will be going to the academia. In that case, you see many problem currently. Many researchers, what they are facing is, if many faculty, they teach the not teach they ask the student to write the articles, but they don't teach the students to write the articles. See, many faculty, they ask, after the completion of the research work, you go and write this as an article. We just say a word, but we won't teach them how to write the article. But in our research work or our PhD program, we used to write number of pages, we go through various reference, we did lot of things, but we are not teaching them. When we teach them more effectively in the for the one or two articles, if you are helping them, the rest they'll be taking care. And academic consultant, many researchers, they are giving their articles, and in that case I am able to hear something like see, for example, if I am a civil engineering scholar, the article, if some other academic consultant is a civil engineering persons, that is okay, they can understand some words. But a biology person, if writing a civil engineering research article, or a management person, or a life science person, or for example, I am sharing like other discipline person, if they are writing me articles, so they just put your words, rephrase everything in like online softwares, and they do it, and every sentences has no meaning relevant to your research work. Then finally many researchers were suffering. So these are all some of the activities that will be leads to plagiarisms. And some of the types of plagiarism is like global plagiarisms. If you are copying and pasting the entire work, that's the global plagiarism. And paraphrase plagiarism is rephrasing other sentences on your like rephrasing and using in your article. And copy and paste is a verbatim plagiarism, copying sentences, figures, captions, table captions, and pasting. And unintentional plagiarism is unknowingly matches with the published work. For example, in Google Scholar, if you are searching on keywords, the first article or third article, these first three articles will be having more number of citations, which means if the article is having some 500 citations, these all 500 researchers will be knowing more about the abstract and conclusion of the research article which you are going through. And again, you will be changing that words or rephrasing for writing a literature review article, or for your article you will be rephrasing some sentences or something. Again, that will be unknowingly, it will be matched to the published work. Then patchwork plagiarism, copying novel ideas from various sources and forming a new text. So you should not do that. And self plagiarism is rewriting our own article and forming a new one. See, self plagiarism in some case, for example, if I am continuing my research work, and the first I am having my schematic diagram, then I am fabricating a device, and with that device I have done some experimental work in my first article, and the next article, when I going for publication, I may do some analytical work or numerical work or some mathematical equations I am solving some, and I am going to publication. In that case, I can the earlier scheme and the product which I have fabricated earlier, I can cite that article. Then only in that case I don't want to copy the similar paragraph to the new articles. So that self plagiarism is okay. And I think this is not an self plagiarism. The self plagiarism counts like in citation, that will be not give any credit. And similarity indexes is equal to match words by total words. And what is academic integrity? Honesty in all tasks. As a researcher, if you are in a UG level or a PG level or a faculty level, scientist, industrialist, in whatever the level you may grow, honesty in all tasks, and express your own ideas. See, even when I was coming through the bike a few days back, in the middle of the road there is a lot of trees, small trees they have been placed. So a lot of cows were going here and there, and these cow were eating all the trees. Then I was thinking, what will be the solutions for making this cow not to have this all the things. See, daily the people, they are pouring waters and they are growing the trees. And see, the thing is like there is a problem and we have to find some solution. It's, for example, if I am giving a solutions, that is my own idea, that is my own idea. So that's how you have to express your, when you are going through going through what your research problem, or in a real life, like applied research problems, you have to express your own research ideas. And difference between citation and reference: citation is a way of disclosing within the main body of the article and that the quote, image, chart, statistics are taken from an outside source. And reference is a list which contains all the sources which have been sought out or cited while writing the article or assignment. See, inside the article, if you are having 30 articles cited, in the reference there must be 30 reference should be there. Seriously, I was one person is asking difference between bibliography and reference. See, reference mean if 30 article is added and you have to add 30 references. Bibliography means, for example, somebody may ask me, can you send me some 50 reference relevant to my research work, so I can share some 50 articles relevant to my research work. That is the bibliography. See, cited, without citation, just we are sending some reference to others, that is the bibliography. That means cited or not cited, that's a different task, and that is the bibliography. And a reference is all the article which is cited inside the body, only that reference can be added in the last heading in your research article or other. And the citation informs the readers the basic sources of information. See, many authors will be interested to put their name in the first name. Mainly if in various reference style, see, in numerical format it will be 1 2 3 4 5, and in alphabetical format your the reference is there, which means in the article the first author name will be there. If the author count will be, if the more than 4 or 5, so it will be, for example, Daniel et al. Dot comma 2009. If that is there, so my first name will be known to various researchers who are all going through the article. For example, if there is a research article, if my name is there in 6 or 7, so if somebody is reading, what they will be thinking is, okay, for example, if I am going through in my discipline, if I am going through articles, there are few professors like Spencer, Dyke, Norman, Sung, various professors were there. Any research article, if you go, like some nearly 7 to 8 researchers names will be must in their articles, because that much research work they have done earlier, and still many researchers were following their research work, identifying some gaps from their research article, and they are getting a problem statement, and they are doing the research work. So the citation that must inform the readers the basic source, and the reference will be informing the readers the complete source. Then if you see about the while you are talking about the citation, the formats were there. Some journal it will be the brackets will be there, some journals it will be the numerical or the Daniel et al. Some several templates will be there, referencing style in citation, even for the in-text citation, so that you have to follow properly. So if you are making some mistakes in a comma or a dot, or in a small mistakes if you are making in the citation, the reference, you may have some 30 or 50 or 100 reference, they will be not getting the credit. So that you have to be more careful. You have to spend more time. See, many people, they spend lot of times only in writing the articles for abstract, conclusion, and inside the body of the articles like discussion, various headings from introduction to, but other than that you have to spend more time in this citation and reference. Check all the references were cited inside the article or not, and citation presented in the bracket, and reference will be presented as endnote or end of the document. And the citation, it contains information like publication, year, and last name. As I said in the in-text citation, Daniel et al. 2009, which means my first name or last name of the author or the year alone will be presented in the citation. But in reference, it will be having the whole information, like it contains information like publication date, title of the author, page number, and even one reference recently I was going through, the month is there, then DOI number will be there. Lot of information will be there in the reference. Even if the reference will be in a book or a book series or a book chapters, the editor's names also will be there in the reference. And in UGC in 2020 they have published a public notice regarding the self plagiarism. I will advise all the researchers, those who are watching now this video, so go through this, read each and every line, and that will be more helpful for your research work, and you have to be more aware of that. And in self plagiarism, which includes republishing the same paper already published. See, I have published one research article, I can write all the paragraph and something in a other way and I can publish. So that is the self plagiarism, and you should not do that, republishing your same paper. See, for that you can do some other research work. And reusing the data already used in the published work. See, for other research work you will be use some data, same book you should not plot in a different color or something, plotting a graph in other way, and you should not publish in other way. And breaking up larger study into smaller section. For example, if I have a in my laboratory, if I am testing some 200 specimen or some 100 specimen, I have to compare all the results and I have to publish. I should not separate the first 20 samples to one article, second 20 to another article, third 20 to another. It should not be like that. When you have a whole a huge number, you can send your article to the reputed journals, that so they will be considering, okay, nearly 1 year or 2 years you have been done this much work and you came for publishing. If you are having this 20 and 10 or some samples, and if you are going for publications, so I am sure it will be go to only for some conference proceedings or unindexed journals. And paraphrasing one's own previously published work also you should not do. And self citation, do not add any numbers to the individual's citation index or H index. See, self citation, do not add any numbers to the individual's citation index or H index. They have been shared this to the Vice Chancellor, Selection Committee, Screening Committee, IQAC and all experts, that they have advised that their decision in the case of promotions, selections, credit allotment, award of research degree must be based on the evaluation of the applicant's published work to ensure that the work being submitted for promotion selection is not self-plagiarized. So this has been issued by UGC Professor Rajneesh Jain, Secretary, has been shared this information in the website. So kindly go through this, and some of the reference style like APA, American Psychological Association, you can go through this website. So some difference will be there in 6th edition and 7th edition, some initials will be there, the HTTPS links will be there. So you have to go through these differences and how to avoid plagiarisms. In academic integrity, like the research ethics, you must follow. That is the basic thing to avoid the plagiarism. And see, and you have to focus on your own idea till the end of your research career. So these are all the things it should be in your mind from the start, when you are starting your research until the end. And follow author's instruction. For authors in all journals you have to read. See, in author instruction they will be sharing about the heading, name, plagiarism, and how much plagiarism should be in the lesser. For example, some journals they may mention that 20% lesser plagiarism is allowed, and some reputed journals it will be like some 15 or 12. So that will be helpful to reduce. And all students or researchers must submit plagiarism reports before submitting their project thesis report. This must be implemented. Why? Because see, as per the new education policy, our country, we are planning to improve more research work, and even our lot of schemes were there, and lot of budgets were provided for the higher education to improve the quality of the our education. Their research will be the main part in many institute level, and in that case every UG and PG students, the project reports or the research reports must be plagiarism. We have to check the plagiarism, or we have to ask the student to bring the plagiarism reports before the submissions. How we are currently doing for the PhD work. Many currently the current scenario, many institute level, how it is going on is like the students will be doing some research work in their lab, or in their laptops or desktop. They are doing some research work, and for the writing the research article, we won't give much enough time, or not research article, or project reports. You can keep that in your mind. The project reports, we don't give enough time. They copy from other websites and other thing. Last minute rush, he will be finally completing his bachelor or a PG program, and he'll be going out of the institute. After when he go out, many faculty or a researcher, they go through their article and they used to write the research article. They go through the reports and they start writing the research article. And what main issue will be, they'll be writing everything, but when they go for the plagiarism check, most of the thing will be copied from or taken from various other sources. In that case, the faculty also cannot publish a research article, but the student level, they complete the research work and they will be passing out. But the faculty will be thinking in their mind, okay, he has completed this work and we can go for publication, we can add the student's name and we can publish the articles, and the faculty will be start working, but the article will be fully plagiarized. So lot of things were going on. So why I am sharing this information is many like in a librarian level, or if somebody watching here in a IQAC or some administrative position in your institute, kindly implement that every UG and PG students should submit their project reports with the plagiarism report. See how we are following for the PhD thesis. This if this is implemented, you'll be getting more number of publication, more research, more products, or more service oriented thing from the various reports. And cite the concept, idea, fact, knowledge, and acknowledge the original source. See, many people sometimes we may take some images or some tables, some recently I was publishing one article in AAC, which means a society journal, American Society of Civil Engineers. So when I was publishing the process, and from the production I received some lot of queries, and in that there is a table is there, only one number like 200, that I have taken from my senior article. I have cited that. Even though I have taken a single number, I have cited his article, and from the production editor they have sent a mail to me that if you have taken this table from the other author or other article, you must get the permission from the author or the editors or from the journal. And they have sent me a permission request letter, and then at last they have mentioned that if you have taken only few data, that is not necessary. So I have then I have mentioned them, I have taken this data alone from the previously published article, and he is my senior, and for him and for me we have a same PhD supervisors, so I think that is not required, and I have cited his article. So when I mentioned that, they have accepted that. So why I am sharing this information is, when you are taking some idea or fact or knowledge or image or figure or table, whatever it may be from other article, you must cite. You have to acknowledge it from the original source. And then how to avoid some of these are all many things will be like some of my suggestion, and you can give training to students about writing reports, thesis, and plagiarism. Even in the bachelor level or a PG graduate level, we ask them to write the reports, but we don't teach them to write how the report should be from the starting, how the what is the abstract and how we have to write in the abstract. So how the methodology should be, and how the introduction should be, and how each the chapter should be, and finally how the reference should be in what. See, we should give them the templates, or we should give some even from the reference we should give some reference style, or we should have some teach them to how to search the literature review. All these things we have to, when we are giving the training to the students, they'll be doing lot of things in this. And use plagiarism detection tool like Turnitin or Authenticate. If you can use it. And quote and summarize properly. So the citation, like Daniel et al. Brackets, or sometimes the brackets will not be there, so that we have to check and you have to quote it properly. And awareness and understanding on reference from the school, colleges, it's must. See from your, see, so there may be some competitions will be there, the students will be participating in essay writing competition. Do you think the whole essay will be written by the students? Somehow they will be searching in some website, or they will be gathering some knowledge, and their ideas they will be sharing. In that case, we can, in the reference, you can just add some of the website you have referred. See, reference is not just how we are referring from in various webs. It may be a website or where, whatever it may be. And that awareness should be created from the school days or the college levels. And for writing your research article or the report, the project reports or the research reports, the student should given sufficient time. And the referencing style, see in Sotoro, if you go through, nearly 9,800 something referencing styles were there. So the students has to teach, we have to teach them, we have to train them what is reference and what are the main referencing style. And then permission from journals. If you are taking some images or some thing from other articles, you have to take permission from the journals. And role of librarians administration in plagiarism is, you have to conduct webinar, seminar, workshop on plagiarism each semester. And live training for plagiarism tools must be there for each year. See, from the when the students they are coming to the department in the second year level, the first year level, we have to, when we are teaching them or we are training them about these are all the things, and when they get some novel or innovative ideas, they can do rest of the thing. And training on reference citation is must for avoiding the plagiarism. And we have to teach them about the academic integrity, and we have to inform them if you are not following these are all the things, some disciplinary action should be taken for these are all the things. See, I think in the last slide there is an in the one of the journal website they have mentioned that the author name and the institute name and their article is removed relevant to the plagiarism. Another thing is mentioned. I think about the article is removed from the journal, and they mentioned the institute name also. Think sometimes it may be an UG level or a PG students, some students like unknowingly they may done all the things, but in the journal or some other website they have shared some information about your institute or your professor name, that their article is removed due to this is the problem or some issues. Whether that is not a good thing to hear as an administrative level perspective. So you have to take some disciplinary action. See suddenly when you are going through the final year or the project students to implement all these things, it will be quite difficult. But you can come from the second years, you can like teach them or train them from the UG if it is means second year level, or in PG which means in the first year or the second semester, or the PhD level, like while they are studying the research methodology or research ethics, professional, what are all the subjects, you have to train them, you have to teach these are all the things. And that will be that role of the librarians and administration will helpful to the many researchers. And difference between copyright and plagiarism is plagiarism, which means the violation in academic rules, and copyright is violation of the law. And plagiarism is offense against the author, and copyright is against who own the copyright. Many researchers will be writing in copyright form. Some journals they ask, and some journals it will be, while the online process itself will be giving a tick option. And plagiarism can be avoided by citation, and copyright will be avoided by permission or payment. And the International Federation of Library Association and Institution, IFLA, and so they have mentioned that they promote the ethical use of information, thereby helping to eliminate plagiarism and other forms of misuse of informations. See, the librarian plays the major role in eliminating the plagiarism in the institute level or in the student level or the faculty level. And citations. See, there are lot of different referencing styles were there, like in in-text, in APA, MLA, Chicago, Harvard. And in-text citation provides the reader with the name of the author, numerical and year of publications. And citation are included for journals, poems, books, magazines, and a lot more. And there is a website named Citation Machine. There you can search the title of the article, and you'll be having, as you see it in the screen, citation, like copy citation as well as copy in text citation option will be there. And simple even citation, which means if you are going through the Google Scholar, you can find the these options will be there. Cited by 9 members will be there. When you click that 9, you can find 9 results will be fine who are all cited your articles. So when I click the first article by downloading in SciHub, or if your institute were subscribed for various from various publishers, you can click that and you can download the article. And this is the article which I clicked earlier. And here at last you can find in the 30-second referent. So my article is referred. So just I click Control F and I was searching 32. I can find here damping is used in many applications. Just 5-6 words they have mentioned alone. But see, this article is from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. They have been published this article. But so my article, you can see here, the title of the article is its application for seismic mitigations for civil engineering applications. The review of my article is there. So they have mentioned here the application is for in various, like many applications where they are just a simple line they have mentioned, but they have cited my article. So similar to that, each article, who are all the authors, they have been cited my articles. So I will be going through each article and what they have written. I will be going through. So many comments were there. Here it may be some sentence may be there, some comments were there, some suggestions were there. So that will be helpful, and it will be easier for as a research community, easier for us to collaborate quite easily. Even who are all cited, I have sent through mail or through ResearchGate or various other sources. In LinkedIn even I have sent a mail that thank for citing my research article, and I received a lot of replies. Even from researchers I have not get any replies too. So that will be there. If see, many researchers, like some international researchers or Indian researchers, we don't know whether during our lifetime we are going to meet them or not. But as a research community, we should have the thankful nature that they have been go through our article and they have cited our article, they have acknowledged us. That thankful we should have. And this is like summarizing the article. You can see here my cruise D is there, and here they have mentioned cruise ETL 2018. So you can see here seismic mitigation dampers. So bracket they have mentioned Jung ETL 2004 and cruise ETL 2018. And some of the plagiarism tools used by the publisher is Turnitin, Authenticate, Urkund, and some of the top 5 free plagiarism tool is Plagium, PlagScan, Grammarly, DupliChecker, CopyLeaks, and Turnitin. I think this is some of the process that you will be open the website when you are having the username and password. You have to submit the file. It will be asking the author details, the first name, last name, and the submission title. And when you upload the article, click upload and just click confirm. So this is the published article. So when I click here, nearly 96%. So this is my own article which is published. So just I have teaching you the process for the published article. And for the unpublished article, so this is one of the article, and we have excluded the bibliography. And in authenticate report it mentioned nearly 8%, and some of the paper retractions were there. So published work has been removed from the journals due to scientific misconduct, that is the plagiarisms. So you can see here since 2011, and particularly in the last 3-4 years, more papers are getting flagged and retracted for problematic images. And you can see here either reused work or duplicated or fabricated images in research manuscripts. Nearly a total of 980 papers has been retracted from India. so far, and of them, and 33% were retracted due to plagiarism, while 13% were retracted due to image duplication. See, some images will be there, for example, in chemistry or physics, some discipline, some images may be there when you are doing some testing, like some XRD, EDAX, and other material testing. So images, some people they will be changing, so these problems will be there. And most articles came from India. Even see, these are all been published in Nature Asia. So we have to be, as a research community, we have to be more careful in this. See, for taking more number of testing samples, main thing is what I feel is funding for testing samples. See, I know one researcher, his supervisor has been advised him to take some more tests, like 100 or 200 tests, but every sample nearly 500 600 is amount is there. So he was been talking to me that this is how it is, but I don't know how I am going to continue all this kind of work. So he don't have any fund, so he have to put everything from his own pocket. So that's how the current that scenario were going on. And in another website, it mentioned that a satisfactory explanation was not provided. Physicists in India lost third paper, and 65 papers from India retracted for image falsification and fabrication errors. And here you can find nearly what are the type of ways they have, these 331 articles were retracted from self-plagiarism, plagiarism of other authors, lack of authorization, missing authors, affiliation error, unclear authorship, theoretical error, experimental error, work not reproducible, problematic data, and data issues, falsified data, so data ownership, disclosure, duplicate publication. So a lot of issues were there. That is the reason they, so nearly 331. So you can see in Chem Matter 2019 the DOI number is mentioned here. You can go through to this website and you can go through everything. And this is the website, correcting the scientific record, retraction practices in chemistry and material science. You can go through this website. In ACS it is published, and this is during this, I think, the COVID-19 topic. You can see here, hydrochloroquine or chloroquine with or without a macrolide for treatment of COVID-19, a multinational registry analysis. So this article is retracted, and two similar title, one of the reputed publishers, they have been removed. And this is the permission request sample. So this I have reviewed from one of the reputed journal in my discipline. So this is how the looks like, to and from, so author and other addresses, and as preparing the articles for this journal, and all these details, estimated published date, and the published author article, if you are taking some images or other thing, so their title, their author details, editor details, all these details has to be mentioned there. And about the plagiarism level, on 7/8/2018 the UGC has been provided a letter regarding the promotion of academic integrity and prevention of plagiarism in higher education institution. They have provided a regulation in 2018. So it is the Gazette of India they have mentioned here. You can see the level of plagiarism. Level 0 is similarities up to 10%, and level 1 should be similarities about 10% to 40%, and level 2 will be similarities above 40 to 60%, and level 3 will be similarities above 60%. And for students and staff, they have mentioned the penalties in case of plagiarism in submission of thesis and dissertation. So level 0 will be, as I mentioned earlier, similarities up to 10%. For it's an minor similarities, there will be no penalties. And level 1, the similarities about 10% to 40%, the student shall be asked to submit a revised script or revised manuscript or revised articles or revised thesis or revised reports within a stipulated time period not exceeding 6 months. And similarities above 40 to 60%, such students shall be debarred from submitting a revised script for a period of 1 year. A similarities above 60%, such student registration for that program shall be cancelled. And this is for staff. And level 0, the minor similarities, no problem, and 10 to 40% shall be asked to withdraw the manuscript whatever it happened, and above 40 to 60% shall be asked to withdraw the manuscript, and one annual increment has to be denied, and shall not be allowed to be a supervisor to any new master's or MPhil or PhD student or a scholar for a period of 2 years. And if your similarity is above 60%, they shall be asked to withdraw the manuscript and shall be denied a right to two successive annual increments, and shall not be allowed to be a supervisor to any new master's, MPhil, PhD student or scholar for a period of 3 years. So as a faculty members, if you are a staff or a researcher, even the student also you have to be more careful, or the faculty or researchers. So everyone, we have to be more careful about the plagiarism. For rephrasing, many staff and students, they use this Quillbot software for paraphrasing. See, in regarding this paraphrasing tool, what I will suggest is, even I have been writing a literature review article. So in that article, I will be going through the article, the abstract, conclusion, and inside some paragraph, some heading that will be relevant to my research work. I will be going through that first, and if that is more relevant to my work, then only I will be going through the rest of the work. So the first thing is like abstract, conclusion, and some headings will be there that will be more relevant to my research work, and some images or some graph. If some graph is there, or some figures is there, just I will check what is the x-axis, y-axis, what is the result, how many percentage they have achieved. So suddenly we will be going through all these things. And then when we are writing, or when we are for writing the literature review article, when we are going through that, so we will be writing on our own. In that case, if you are getting again the plagiarism, then I will be going for this paraphrasing tools like Quillbot and other tools. And another option is like to avoid from plagiarism, like thesaurus.com. See, if just I have typed the word better, and the synonyms were exceptional, improved, superior, choice, exceeding, fitter, preferred. So various options were there. So you can use this option too. And for writing your articles, there are some verbs like argue, assert, assume, challenge, claim, content. So certain words, and some reporting words also there. Discussed, studied, presented, investigated, conducted an experiment, or carried out, developed, proposed, conducted. See, for example, when you are writing some articles, in introduction part, these kind of reporting words will be more helpful. And see, this is one of the, recently I was going through one of the journal, so it mentioned in their website that it announces that the paper entitled so and so by Dr. so and so, and from the faculty of the institute, was published in the journal, has been blacklisted the author and removed the paper from our journal. So why I am sharing this information is, see, sometimes your professor's name is mentioned in some journals and your institute is mentioned in the journal. It will be not the good sign for your institute. So before occurring that, you kindly try to inform these all academic integrity, research ethics, and about the plagiarism. You teach the students, train the faculty, and make this plagiarism not to happen in the institute level. Thank you.